Hi, Dean Wade, Associate Dean Visser, and anyone who happens to be looking at this video. I'm putting together a summary of the outcomes and responsibilities of the Hamill Family Chair and providing this as an alternative to the PowerPoint presentation, which has a more detailed outline and clarifications of the things that have been achieved based on the job description provided to me 9 years ago when I joined the School of Business and Economics. So I'll go through the summary. I will turn off the video and keep sharing the slides with you as something that can go through and receives a narrative along the way. So this is a summary report on my roles and responsibilities. My name is Damien Wilson. I have been in the role of the Hamill Family Chair for 9 years as of the end of the 23-24 academic year. So, I'm now going to go over this summary of what's been achieved in the last 12 months and also conclude with some of the outcomes and vision for what's going to happen in 24-25. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, it's been made clear to me that the endowed chair position is something that a number of other faculty, in particular through the process of the getting through to tenure and promotion, found that there needed to be distinctions between the role of the professor and the role as the Hamill Family Chair. So the requirements or responsibilities for now being the role of a full professor are broken down into teaching, research, and service, being pretty much everything else that doesn't fit into those initial two. Now, in the School of Business and Economics, from the time that I was hired, required me maintaining student evaluation reports with a minimum average of 3 out of 5. And anything that was rated as below 3 out of 5 required attention. I was also, it was made clear that the professor needs to publish 2 academic outputs within a 5-year period, one from an A category, which is essentially a peer-reviewed journal, and one from a B category, which is anything else that doesn't fit into the peer-reviewed journal, but is considered to be academic output. And there was also a requirement to conduct service across department, school, and university level on a year-by-year basis. So from fall through spring, the 23-24 academic year, as a full professor of the School of Business and Economics, which it was until until the reorganisation into a college, I'm sticking with that there. I taught the course of Biz 565W, which is Sales and Marketing Strategy. I maintained a mean value of 4.4 out of 5 from the 75% of students who responded to that, and also for Biz 360, Introduction to Marketing, maintained a mean of 4.2 out of 5 for the 30% of students who responded to that. I also had a course release which is connected to the Hamill Family Chair appointment, so there were only reviews from 2 courses for that semester. But as far as research was concerned in that semester, there's a CCTV wine retail project where I've got a month worth of footage which was collected during my sabbatical, and I'm collaborating with Associate Professor Gurman Gill in the Computer Science Department on how we can analyse that data to provide insights on the point of sale behaviour of consumers in the retail environment. I also, in regard to service across the university, I held the position of chair of the SSU Labour Council. From the school's position of service, I was a statewide senator in the academic senate for that semester. And with the department level from the Wine Business Institute, I maintained the role of community manager of the AWBR, which is the Academy of Wine Business Research, as a board member from July 22 to the present. And I also managed the CFA's Sonoma State University social media accounts during that semester. In spring 2024, I taught the course 545, which is Global Wine Business, securing a mean review of 4 out of 5. It was the first time I taught that class, and as a new prep, it certainly took a bit more time than expected. But I also, in the previous semester, was granted a course release as a statewide senator, which I was unaware of, and subsequently took that course release in the spring semester instead of the fall semester. And that's in addition to the course release that was connected to the Hamill Family Chair appointment. And regarding research, yeah, presented at the CSU's session at San Bernardino campus in spring with Professor Emily Acosta-Lewis on teaching and learning in the era of AI. Presentation that took half an hour had a full audience of 45 faculty members from across the CSU. My SSU service again was the Labor Council, the chair of that council, which meets every second week. I also conducted SBE service in sitting on two search committees. First one being the VP of Academic Affairs and Faculty Success, as well as the search committee for the WBI's executive director in that semester. And finally, for the department, I again was the community manager and AWBR board member, and I managed the CFA's SSU social media accounts, which I have to admit was not as taxing after the strike took place in January compared to the time the involvement required in the fall semester. So the distinction here from a professor is from the Hamill Family Chair's role, which the responsibilities for an endowed professorial chair, as indicated at SSU, well, they're defined by the aims of the institution, and these differ specifically from those of faculty chairs. So the role is more indicative of being developmental, promotional, and service-oriented. And the Hamill Family Chair's responsibilities are specifically outlined as being an academic lead for curriculum direction to help drive and maintain the curricular offerings within Sonoma State as being worthwhile and beneficial to students who want to get a concentration in wine business. But also to be a lead in faculty development within the School of Business and Economics, taking on roles of mentoring, supporting and encouraging and inspiring those who wish to get not only into wine business, but also to help them across their careers as academics. And there's a strong developmental focus for the Wine Business Institute. So focusing on any service element which can be attributed to development or promotional benefits for the Wine Business Institute. So what were these achievements specifically? Well, the outcomes for the 23-24 year regarding academic lead for curriculum direction. I was actually on sabbatical when the wine business elective courses were changed to remove access to them from non-business area students. When this was first posed as an option to close off access to courses, I was stridently against such a move because it reduces the options for students and reduces the potential for anyone to be exposed to and benefit from the courses we're teaching in wine business. So to remove them from as an option, I think was the wrong thing to do. Sadly, I wasn't on campus to combat that direction, but I did have the benefit of working with arts and humanities as well as computer science faculty to draft a proposal so that in this coming year we can offer wine business as a minor. The idea being that it's put to faculty within the department, school and college for consultation in the 24-25 academic year. That would be the intent as a prospect of opening it up. So instead of making wine business a concentration uniquely for business students, but to make it something that could be beneficial to students across SSU. Just think about the benefits, the opportunities for students who are doing computer science to be able to come up with analytical tools that can work in the best interests of creating chatbots or coming back with analytical tools using AI to be able to provide feedback to customers 24/7 for wine businesses. That would be a great outcome. Students in GIS could indeed be responsible for putting together algorithms that can help viticulturists with their watering regime, or coming up with better estimates on fertilization or herbicide techniques. These things are great potential prospects for students doing a minor within their existing degree. So I believe, and certainly in regard to what's been found with others across the campus and the CSU, that there is potential, given the appeal of and the attraction of wine business as a career path for students in this part of the world and on this campus. So specifically, to be as being a lead in faculty development within the SBE, to bring others on board in a mentoring role. I took on a number of roles that mentor and financially supported junior and department faculty in the SBE this year. Collaborated, as mentioned, with others within the Department of Business and Economics and A&H professors in publishing this year. Indeed, with Associate Professor, with Associate Dean Visser, was published in the International Journal of Wine Business Research, and also have published in the Sonoma State Star and in the Wine Business Management with Assistant Professor In Jung, and also writing an article on sport and wine adoption for the Star with Professor Costa Lewis. So there's a developmental focus for the WBI as part of the role as well, and I'm maintaining not just this as a video review, but as means to continue to direct traffic to SSU sites, making those connections by putting content online and adding links to them to Sonoma State. And as a community manager for the CFA and AWBR accounts, I've certainly found that there's been capacity to generate traction online through those accounts. But also submitted a book chapter on AI in wine business with Professors Lokshin and Volnikova from University of Adelaide and Texas Tech, respectively, and that's been a successful outcome. So what does it mean specifically? Well, on a month-by-month basis, some deliverables in the role from July through to June this year. At the AWBR conference last year in Nova Scotia, I won the Best Presentation Award and attended and supported the Wine Business Institute board meeting in August. In September, that was when most of the research was done across SSU and CSU wide, a search and interviews with other faculty members, administrators and staff on means to extend wine business programs to make them appealing for more students across more campuses. In October, I was part of a group discussion from the California Sustainable Wine Growers Association to put together a submission for the conference the following April-May, and put together a submission with co-researcher in the University of New England in New South Wales, Australia, and the Arts and Humanities and business faculty to put together a number of submissions to the ICA conference, which is the International Communications Association, the biggest communications conference in the world. And the Wine Market Council also had a committee meeting where we worked on ways to measure and attract new consumers to the wine industry. But there was also the collaborative teaching experience with the computer science department with Associate Professor German Gill. In November, I supported the board meeting. I also co-presented 2 sessions at Cornucopia Whistler, which is the biggest wine and food event in Canada. And those two, that's a week and a half long session, which attracts wine producers, chefs from around the world to Whistler to attend a series of sessions. And the sessions that I co-presented on were the first 2 to have sold out in that year based on the success from the year before. In December, I sat in on and contributed to assessments in computer science class 479 with Associate Professor Gill, and contributed to their presentations from a business perspective. And I also was involved in the research on young consumers with the Wine Market Council. Now, in spring, the deliverables were a little bit more were more specific, and as you can see from the underlines there in the PowerPoint presentation, there is a link to those for people who want to see what was presented, but for those who don't need to see what's presented, and they can just look at the review. Here is what took place. There was the Bold Predictions presentation with the Wine Industry Network, where I moderated a webinar which had a peak audience of 174 viewers, which was presented, which was recorded on January the 12th. I also captured video footage for use and distribution in the BIS 545W classroom, and I took that from the Direct-to-Consumer Wine Symposium and the United Grape and Wine Symposium that both took place and I attended in January. In February, I sat in on the board meeting and submitted an extended abstract to the International Communication Association on cultural factors in wine engagement, and attended the Vancouver International Wine Festival in this year, which had the host country of Italy, and also attended the Wine.com conference. In March, I attended the National Rugby League's push into the US market in Las Vegas and covered the event with them with press access. I also attended the SoCal recruiting series of accepted students at 6 different events, and I published in Wine Business Monthly on California Sustainable Wine Growers Symposium. In April, I published in the Sonoma Star on effective marketing in wine and sport based on my rugby league's attendance that pushed into the market. And in May, I attended the California Sustainability Winemakers Symposium board, as well as the WBI board meeting. And I also delivered a KCBS phone interview on good news in the local wine industry at 9:20 a.m. on May 15. I subsequently went to Vancouver and pitched for a book contract on the joy of wine, and met with a number of producers for putting together a documentary on creating a wine business series to publishers and video producers whilst I was there. In June, I travelled to Australia and New Zealand, and had a number of meetings for recruitment purposes for Sonoma State with both the US Embassy and Ed USA. And I also presented at Embracing AI in the Classroom with Emily Acosta-Lewis at ICA 2024. So the vision for next year, well, contribute to the rebuilding of the Wine Business Institute. We've had faculty retirements and departures. 8 members who were here when over the period since I arrived in 2015 through until this academic year have retired or departed. And that's it's sad because the Wine Business Institute, these were the people who I joined for mentoring, and we've only had 1 recruit in that time. I'm happy to say that I chaired that recruitment committee, and I'm very proud of having enticed Professor Jung to join the Wine Business Institute with the vision that we have for the future. But it's clear that there are divided goals between those who are teaching in wine business, and we clearly need some direction, and I offer all the support and assistance to leadership in this regard, because that new leadership means new roles for everyone involved. So it's an opportunity I see for everyone to work together. And so the aim is to work with administration, which I believe is ongoing and hopefully successful. But collaborations are essential in this regard, both internally and externally. And clearly, I want to continue building on the Wine Business Institute's brand awareness metrics, which are going in the right direction, thankfully. And I'm individually leading with innovation, the use of digital, video, and AI as a means to take advantage of opportunities. So the final words are for this coming year. Despite, I think this year has been very successful. It's been a year of a substantial achievement. There's been a lot that's taken place. There's a rapid change going on, but I see the future as being rosy, and hope that you and the team and anyone watching this feels the same thing as well. I look forward to working with, collaborating with all who are keen to support, reinforce, and develop the role of the Wine Business Institute within the School of Business and Economics. So thank you very much for your time and interest in this presentation. I trust that it's been helpful and valuable for you, and I look forward to any feedback that you have on it in due course.